Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I figured I'd use this opportunity. I'm actually in a hotel room. You can probably tell that I'm not in my normal studio, but the reason is I'm traveling for work, but I figured this would be a perfect time to answer a question that I actually get asked quite often, which is, with your businesses, what softwares do you use to run them? And since I haven't seen too many videos on YouTube in general about all the different things that you can do for communication, banking, finances, accounting, invoices, all the different things that you have to do as a business owner, but I haven't really seen a good consolidation of all the different tools that are best to use for this purpose. So I figured I'd make this video and talk about the software that I use to run my businesses. Okay, so I wanted to kind of divide this into a couple of different areas, specifically talking about communication elements, finance and accounting elements, and then the third part will kind of just be all the things that I use alongside those. Okay, so let's start with the communication aspect, and this is something that I use every single day. Obviously, it's super important, especially if you have employees or clients you need to interact with. So communication is the most important thing that I do every single day for my business, and that would be email, video conferencing, and chat. Now for email, I use Outlook. I've used quite a few different options in the past, but Outlook for me just does a great job of consolidating everything. It includes calendar, it includes email, and it does a good job of managing the video conferences, managing all the other third-party integrations that I need, and keeps everything in one place. Especially with different businesses that I own, I'm able to keep all of those in one centralized location, which really helps across my phone and my computer. And for chat and video conferencing, we actually stay in the Microsoft ecosystem. We use Microsoft Office 365 for our business in general, or for one of my businesses, so I tend to use that for others, and that includes things like Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is what I use for chat to coordinate with my teams, my employees, with clients, and it also includes video conferencing through Microsoft Teams, and it does a pretty good job of that. The only unfortunate thing is that when you're working with a lot of different people, everyone uses something different. A lot of people have more experience with things like Zoom or Google Meet, so we'll use those occasionally, and people tend to have technical difficulties when they're getting on Teams for the first time. But overall, I really like it. The communication and the chat features are great. We recently migrated over from Slack. I think it's better. We still use Slack for some clients. Sometimes it's nice to have just a separate space where you can communicate directly and chat with clients, but overall Microsoft Teams is our go-to for that purpose. Okay, so let's jump right into finances. Obviously, if you have a business, you need your finances to be in order and you want to bring in money. That's how you succeed as a business owner. So for banking, we use Novo Bank. We used Mercury in the past. We also used Aslo. It's actually gone out of business, but they were great. Aslo kind of transitioned all of their customers into Novo, or at least they had a pretty solid bridge there. So I use Novo Bank, and I actually use it for multiple different businesses. The downside of this is the fact that if you do use Novo and you have multiple businesses, you have to sign out and sign in each time you want to check your different business balances, business bank accounts. It's really unfortunate because every time you sign in, then you have to do the two-factor authentication with email and phone. Bit of a hassle, but I think they're working on it. For now, if you only have a single business, I would say hands down recommend Novo. A close second that I use for a separate business is called Mercury. So I would say one of those two is going to do great things for your business. And both of these have pretty solid backends. Obviously, they're backed by traditional banks, but they do a good job of creating a brand new technological front end that allows you to do a lot of fancier things. Obviously, you can deposit checks and do all the things you need to do, but it just does it in such a convenient way and allows you to have a little bit more power than a traditional bank would do. But at the end of the day, as long as you don't go with Wells Fargo, you'll probably be all right. I use QuickBooks Online. I love it. I know there's things like FreshBooks and other alternatives and some things that are even free, but I use QuickBooks because it's essentially the gold standard right now. It works perfectly. It does everything that I need it to do, and I really like the interface. It works on my phone, it works on my computer. Although at the end of the day, I'm not sure why I would need my accounting software on my phone. I don't actually do any accounting on my phone, and I don't know that I would trust myself to do any sort of actual financial transaction from my phone that's significant for a business, but it does have the app, so it does have the capability if you're interested in that. I really like QuickBooks Online, so I definitely recommend it. I think I'll put links to all of these things in the description below if it's helpful to you guys. I think a lot of them have like referral discount deals, so you can get some money off if you start like a Novo account. I think they'll give you $50 to start off your account. Anyway, I'll put all the links in the description below if that's helpful, if you want to use them, and I think it helps out the channel as well, so I would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's transition now and talk about some of the extras that I use for my businesses that help keep things running smoothly. And a lot of these softwares I don't use across all of my businesses. It's really just when they need it. So one of those is project management, right? So I need specifically for one of the companies that I own, obviously projects are really important, client work, and project management is a huge piece of that. So we've used Notion in the past and really liked it. I think it's really great. It's super lightweight and super quick. It doesn't have all of the features that you might need when things start to expand, but if you're just starting or it's a startup, it's relatively small, I would say Notion hands down. As you start to expand, if you need a couple more business related features, sometimes Notion doesn't do the best job of that, which is why we transitioned over to ClickUp, which we're using right now. It's great. It has has all the features that we need. The only problem is it's not as fast as Notion. And from what I hear, they're about to release version 3 of ClickUp, so hopefully they'll improve a lot of those things. But for now, it's a little bit slower. I think that's probably the main disadvantage of it, but it has a great system for dashboards for clients. It even does time tracking if you're interested in that inside of a project management software. The only reason I don't use the time tracking element of it is because we have our own time tracking tool that we built for our company, and it works great and it's free, so I'll definitely take that. So alongside project management is keeping track of your tasks and just daily to-dos, daily calendaring. I use Outlook for my calendar, but I do try to keep a good to-do list of things that I need to get done, especially across different businesses. Sometimes things can get a little bit confusing. Now I add this in the extras category just because it's really more of a personal thing. Like I'm keeping track of the tasks that I have to do, so it's not necessarily a full business tool, but I use Todoist. So I've used probably 10 different to-do tracking apps in the past, and the one that I've landed on right now is called Todoist. The reason I like it is because they do a good job of allowing you to input your tasks from anywhere and quickly and easily, and using natural language processing, which a lot of other competitors also do, where you can just type in, remind me to do this thing in 2 weeks, and it'll just schedule it out for you instead of needing to manually go in, add settings, add notes, and all those things. So hopefully that was helpful to you to talk about some of the softwares that I use every single day for my businesses. If you have any questions at all about the software that I use or anything else that's on the market, I've probably tried it, leave that in the comment section and I will absolutely go ahead and answer those. If you like this video or it brought value to you, please don't forget to give it a like. It really appreciate it, and it really does help the channel to grow, and that's the goal. So hopefully we'll see you in the next one.